Long before the great dinosaurs roamed the Earth, our planet was a very different place. The air was thin, the lands were bare, and the oceans held secrets we are only just beginning to understand. It was here, in the quiet ancient seas, that the first stirrings of animal life began. This was a time known as the Ediacaran period, over 600 million years ago. The world was silent, without the roar of a predator or the scuttling of feet. But beneath the waves, a revolution was underway. Simple, soft-bodied creatures were starting to appear, laying the very foundation for all the complex life that would follow them. These first animals were nothing like the creatures we know today. They had no bones, no shells, no teeth, and no claws. They were gentle beings, drifting or lying still on the seabed. For millions of years, they were the dominant form of life on our planet. Imagine a world populated by these quiet, mysterious organisms. They were the pioneers, the first to experiment with being an animal. Their fossils are incredibly rare and precious. They are like faint whispers from a long-lost time, telling us the very first chapter of the story of life. We must look very closely to see their story. Finding evidence of these creatures is a true challenge for scientists. Because they were so soft, they did not fossilize easily like animals with hard skeletons. Instead, they left impressions in the fine mud of the ancient seafloor. It is like finding a footprint in the sand, preserved for over 500 million years. These faint imprints are our only windows into this incredible alien world. Each discovery gives us a new piece of the puzzle, helping us to picture what life was like at the very dawn of the animal kingdom. The story they tell is one of slow, patient beginnings. This era of early life set the stage for everything that was to come. It was a period of quiet experimentation. Nature was trying out new shapes, new ways of living, and new ways of being. These simple animals were the ancestors of us all. Every bird, every fish, every insect, and indeed every human can trace its origins back to these humble beginnings in the dark, ancient oceans. It is a profound thought, connecting us directly to the planet's most distant past. Our journey into prehistory does not start with towering reptiles, but with these soft, still, and utterly fascinating first animals. Among the very first creatures to be called animals were the sponges. They are so simple that for a long time people thought they were plants. But they are true animals, and their family tree is ancient, stretching back perhaps 700 million years. Sponges lived on the seafloor, attached to rocks or the seabed itself. They could not move from place to place. Instead, they waited for the ocean currents to bring them their food. They are the ultimate survivors, having existed through every major extinction event in Earth's history. They are living fossils, still with us today in our modern oceans. A sponge's body is a marvel of simplicity and efficiency. It is full of tiny pores and channels. Water flows into these pores, bringing with it tiny particles of food, like bacteria and other organic matter. Special cells inside the sponge, called collar cells, have tiny whip-like tails that beat back and forth. This creates a current, pulling the water through the sponge's body. The collar cells then catch the food particles, and the filtered water flows out through a larger opening. It is a simple but very effective way to make a living in the ancient seas. Unlike most animals, sponges have no true organs, no muscles, and no nervous system. They do not have a brain or a stomach. If you were to break a sponge into many tiny pieces, each piece could, under the right conditions, grow into a new, complete sponge. This remarkable ability to regenerate makes them incredibly resilient. They are less a single individual and more a cooperative colony of cells, all working together for the common good. This simple body plan has been so successful that it has barely changed in hundreds of millions of years. The existence of ancient sponges tells us something very important about the early oceans. For sponges to live, there must have been enough oxygen in the water to support animal life. Their fossils, some of the oldest animal fossils ever found, are therefore crucial clues. They help scientists date the moment when our planet's atmosphere and oceans became hospitable enough for animals to breathe and thrive. These still and silent creatures are not just ancient oddities, they are witnesses to the birth of our world as we know it. As we look closer at the Ediacaran seafloor, we find other, more mysterious creatures. One of the most famous is Dickinsonia. This organism was flat, oval-shaped, and looked a bit like a quilted mat or a fingerprint. It could be very small, just a few millimeters across, or grow to be over a meter long. For many years, scientists debated what it was. Was it a fungus, a strange giant amoeba, or was it something else entirely? It had no obvious mouth, gut, or limbs. It just lay flat against the microbial mats that covered the seabed. Recent discoveries have given us a clearer picture. Scientists found fossils of Dickinsonia that contained molecules of cholesterol, a type of fat that is a hallmark of animal life. This was the smoking gun. It confirmed that this strange flat creature was indeed one of the world's earliest animals. It is thought that Dickinsonia absorbed nutrients directly through its underside as it moved slowly across the seafloor. It was not a predator, but a gentle grazer of microscopic life, a pioneer in the art of moving to find food. Its simple existence represents a huge leap in evolution. Another fascinating inhabitant of these ancient seas was Sprigina. This creature was quite different from Dickinsonia. It had a more defined body, with a crescent-shaped head at one end and a body made of repeating segments. It was small, usually only a few centimeters long. The segments were not perfectly symmetrical, but slightly offset, like a zipper. This pattern suggests that Sprigina may have been able to move with more purpose than Dickinsonia, perhaps by wiggling its body. It gives us the first hint of a body with a distinct front and back. The discovery of Sprigina was exciting because it looked like it might be an ancestor of later, more complex animals. Some scientists believe it could be an early relative of the trilobites, which were hugely successful during the next geological period, the Cambrian. Its segmented body and distinct head shield are features we see in many later animals, including insects and crustaceans. While its exact place in the tree of life is still debated, Sprigina shows that evolution was already experimenting with the body plans that would become so important for the future of the animal kingdom. These ancient creatures are full of wonderful secrets. Let's explore some fun facts about them. For sponges, a truly amazing fact is their age. Some individual glass sponges living in the deep ocean today are thought to be among the longest living animals on Earth, with some estimated to be over 10,000 years old. They are living relics, connecting our world directly to the deep past. Another interesting detail is that the skeleton of some sponges is made of tiny, sharp spicules of silica, which is essentially glass. They have been making glass long before humans ever did. Dickinsonia also has its share of fascinating trivia. One of the most intriguing is that it is the first known animal to move. Fossil trackways have been found alongside Dickinsonia fossils, showing the imprints it left behind as it crawled across the seabed in search of food. This makes it our planet's very first trailblazer. Furthermore, despite its large size, up to 1.4 meters, it was incredibly thin, probably no thicker than a few millimeters. This flat shape was essential for absorbing nutrients and oxygen directly from the water in a world with no complex respiratory systems. And what about Sprigina? This little creature is named after Reg Sprigg, the geologist who first discovered the Ediacaran fossils in the Flinders Ranges of South Australia. It is the official state fossil of South Australia, a tribute to its importance in the story of life. A fun debate among paleontologists is whether Sprigina was a predator. The head shield is quite tough, and some wonder if it was used to push through the sediment, or perhaps even to stun or cover tiny prey. If so, it could be one of the earliest predators. This journey into the Ediacaran period is just the beginning of the prehistoric story. We have met the quiet pioneers, the first animals to grace our planet's oceans. But the world was on the verge of a dramatic change. Next, we dive into the Cambrian explosion, when life got weird and wild. Suddenly, animals with shells, spikes, and strange new body plans appeared in a burst of evolutionary creativity. So, if you love dinosaurs, ancient life, and weird science, subscribe now, like this video, and comment with your favorite prehistoric creature.